From Soggy Brewery, welcome to another Brownie Bites on YouTube. I'm Daryl Ryder. Well, let's start with the game plan for Saturday's preseason finale. Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski announcing how much he plans to play those starters.
We'll play our starters in this game. Depends on how the game flow goes, but between 20 to 25 plays. There will be some guys that get out of there a little bit sooner than others. But it's really individualized plan for each guy, but you will see the starters out there.
And then there's the ever important question, what he's going to do with the quarterbacks. It sounds like only 3 of them are going to play. Joe Flacco, of course, is going to start. Dillon Gabriel will be quarterback number 2, and if healthy, Shedeur Sanders, quarterback number 3.
Young quarterbacks in general, Shedeur, Dillon, continue to operate. I know it's boring, sounds boring, but we want those guys to go out there and get us in the correct plays, run the offense, spread the ball around, all those things, but nothing out of the ordinary, nothing that we don't ask them to do out here on the practice field.
While Thursday's practice felt like the final one of training camp and, of course, the preseason finale against the Rams, head coach Kevin Stefanski doesn't feel camp ends until September.
I can't sit here and tell you it's unique to us or unique to this year or unique to this week or whatever it might be, but our players are excited about the season. They're excited to compete, and I think they've never wavered from the work that's required. So we're not there yet. September 7th isn't tomorrow. We have plenty of work left to do.
As I mentioned, Shedeur Sanders among the quarterbacks that we will see Saturday against the Rams. He is going to be third in line. Obviously, the hot topic of conversation, the pseudo-controversial comment made by Dillon Gabriel to Aditi Kikabwala on the News 5 telecast last weekend, in which he dropped the entertainers versus competitors comment. He being a competitor, after the game, Gabriel had indicated that he was referencing the news media, folks like me who cover the team, as being the entertainers. However, some national accounts, including the league account, took it as Gabriel was taking a shot at Shedeur Sanders.
Honestly, I don't even think about nothing. I don't think about anything. If it's not words or anything, at this point, it can't do anything to me. I know, the God put the ability and the power within me to not even think about nobody else's comments, not care. It is what it is. I spoke with him. He said, nah, bro, that wasn't. He said, that wasn't. He told me on the plane. He came up, he was like, nah, bro, that wasn't at you. I see how they trying to spin. I'm like, oh, all right. I'm not tripping, regardless of whatever it was. Nobody's words or anything affects me, So, yeah. Did I believe him? Yeah. I mean, I feel like you're trying to start stuff now. I feel like you're trying to start stuff. I mean, he's doing his job. He's supposed to. Do I feel like he did? I don't know. And that's not on me to sit here and be like, oh, he did, he didn't. That's not going to change my life in any way.
Now to the important stuff like football. Here's some of what Sanders had to say about his progress, where he's at, and of course, that oblique injury that he's dealing with. How's that feeling?
I'm feeling good. Yeah, everything's good. In life, it's always going to be pain. It's always going to be things, adversity, things that's going to knock you down sometimes, but the main thing about it is you just got to push through it. There's a lot of people in this world that's going through stuff, but, I'm playing for a lot more than just me, so regardless of pain, that's always how I've been, even in college, So in high school and everything from when I was young, regardless of physically, if I don't feel my best, I still got to go out there and execute with no excuses. It's honestly just going out there playing ball. I don't really think too deep of it. I think about one completion at the time, one right play call at the time, one the right way to do the footwork when we're handing the ball off, doing everything. So every day is just constant grading yourself and trying to have progression. I haven't really not started since COVID year. And I ran scout team there. And then sometimes you got to find the joy and the fun in it, because it is fun. You going out there against the first defense and you out there with a chip, You playing with guys, you playing with receivers that's trying to get out there also. So I feel like all that stuff is fun, and you just got to make the best of any situation you're in. I would say I'm just going on there on my ability and God's ability. I don't think anything too deep on what I did last preseason. It's a 24-hour rule, or I say 12-hour rule now. So I just go 12 hours. I feel happy. then it's go back to work, you know. So that's mainly my focus. I would say I learned life in a different perspective, you know, and that's why I come here. I'm happy. I always got good energy because, you know, I'm blessed to come out here every day. Regardless of the situation, regardless of anything, you know, I know my time, whenever that is, I'll be ready for it, and I'm going to embrace that. But in due time, you know, I got many things I need to fix, many things I need to work on, and I'm not oblivious to that. So all I look at it as I'm getting more time to cook. I'm getting more time to warm up. You know, that's all it is. I feel like I've been through this already before. You know, it was a COVID year. Jackson State, I wasn't eligible to play because I graduated early. Then my purpose was going there and just do everything I can on scout team each and every day. So that's my reflection. That's how I'm able to get through any situation, anything that life, you know, throws at me or whatever I'm going through, is because I feel like I've done it, you know, in a similar form. And then I think about, you know, and I like when it's positive things going. I don't like to be negative, you know, too much of everything, because I know everybody works hard. A lot of people work hard. Life is hard, everything. So who am I to complain when you sit back and you think of everything in the grand scheme of things? You know, so I don't even really try to even get down. And whenever, you know, I even feel a little bit down, I just constantly remind myself, like, you know, you can't be feeling that way. Do I feel like I have things to prove? Of course, I'm playing for fun, I'm playing for happiness. You know, I'm playing for fans, the family, for everybody, for this organization that drafted me. So it's a lot I'm playing for. That's it. I don't care. Whenever it's time for me to get out there and play, I'm going to play. Whenever it's time for the lights to come on, I'm going to do my thing. I'm not concerned about when it is. I'm not concerned about, you know, how many reps I'm getting at this point is what it is. Because I know when the lights come on, when everything go on, when the pressure's on, you know who I am. And I'm always be that way. I think the mind is extremely powerful. I think everything's a decision. I think you could wake up each and every day and decide if you're going to have a positive day or you're going to have a negative day. I think you could wake up every day, and regardless of any circumstance you're in, I feel like you could choose how your day is going to be. Choose your mentality. Choose how you feel about certain people. Choose if you feel like getting up and doing it every day. You have a choice. So I feel like that mental's extremely strong, and it's the most important thing. That's why, you know, people wear caps and stuff when we out there playing football to protect the mind and everything. So of course, I'm never gonna wear a cap though. But anyways, I just think the mind's extremely important, and it's just about perspective, however you look at life.
We also got to visit with Mason Graham, the outstanding 5th overall pick in this year's draft class. Graham has really shown himself to be a playmaker here during training camp. Here's the best of what Graham had to say on Thursday.
Yeah, I feel like I can just show my progression, you know, since I've got here until now. You know, it's always a progress, especially coming into this defense, new style, and just kind of picking up the technique still. But you know, it's getting better week by week. Just working my plan. You know, everyone has their individual plans of, you know, what they're gonna do when they rush, or, you know, how they're gonna play a block. But just bringing my plan to life and showing that in the week. Yeah, we know we have a lot of great players. You know, especially up front. We all work well together, and we're all, you know, bought into the scheme. So I feel like, you know, once we all kind of mesh and get that full chemistry, we'll kind of just be working like clockwork. Probably just, like, you know, I had to change my whole stance, and then I'd say more like get off too. You know, I used to not really, you know, get off the ball as fast because it was a different defense. You know, I was more of reading, so it wasn't like launching out the ball. But I'd say probably my get off and stance and stuff.
So that's a wrap for this edition of Brownie Bites. So want to remind you, as always, to hit that subscribe button on the 92.3 The Fan channel. And, of course, thank you, as always, for watching here on YouTube. With the Browns in Berea, I'm Darryl Ryder for Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.